Sometimes, the truth hides in plain sight, waiting for the one person no one thinks to listen to. In a luxury hospital suite on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, billionaire tech investor Richard Caldwell was slipping closer to death. The beeping machines, the endless specialists in white coats, the sterile smell of antiseptic and fear, it all painted the same picture. 20 of the best doctors in the country had been flown in to solve the mystery of his decline, yet none of them could find an answer. But late at night, when most of the staff were gone and the weight of silence pressed heavy on the halls, someone else noticed what they didn't. Her name was Angela Bowman, a 38-year-old housekeeper who moved like a shadow through the hospital's most exclusive wing. To most, she was invisible, a figure with a mop and a cleaning cart. But behind her tired eyes lived the sharp mind of a woman who once dreamed of being a chemist. Years earlier, Angela had been a star student at Johns Hopkins, on her way to a promising career in research. But when her parents died in a car accident, she was left with 3 younger siblings to raise. She left school, trading textbooks for paychecks, building a life of quiet sacrifice. Even now, as a single mother of 2, she worked nights to keep food on the table. Yet her love for chemistry never faded. She devoured library books, online lectures, and scientific journals whenever she could steal a few minutes for herself. That night, as Angela scrubbed the spotless counters in Caldwell's room, she caught something no one else had noticed. His fingernails had taken on a strange, yellow tint. His gums looked slightly discolored. His once thick hair had begun falling out in uneven patches. The smell in the room wasn't just antiseptic and cologne. There was something faintly metallic beneath it. To anyone else, it would be nothing. But to Angela, a memory flashed from an old toxicology lecture she had once adored. The textbook signs of thallium poisoning. Her heart pounded. Could it really be? Could 20 of America's best-paid doctors have missed something so obvious? She glanced at the bedside table, where a sleek black jar of imported hand cream sat. She'd seen it before, brought almost daily by Caldwell's longtime business rival-turned-friend, a man named Jonathan Burke. Burke always insisted Caldwell use it, claiming it soothed his skin. But Angela's instinct screamed that it was more than moisturizer. It was the perfect delivery system. She wanted to speak up, but who would listen to a housekeeper? Just hours earlier, Dr. Reynolds, the silver-haired lead physician from Harvard, had brushed past her like she was part of the wallpaper. Angela knew that if she blurted out her suspicion, she'd be laughed out of the room, maybe even fired. Still, the image of Caldwell's deteriorating body haunted her. When alarms erupted at 2:17 a.m. and the staff rushed in shouting "Code Blue," Angela's decision hardened. She could either stay silent and watch a man die, or risk everything to be heard. She tried subtlety first. She slipped a handwritten note onto Dr. Reynolds' clipboard. Check for thallium poisoning. Classic symptoms. But when he discovered it during rounds, he scoffed. Apparently, our cleaning staff thinks she's Sherlock Holmes, he told the room, drawing chuckles from his colleagues. We already ran heavy metal panels. Amateur detective work isn't helpful. The sting of their laughter burned in Angela's chest, but it only deepened her resolve. If they wouldn't believe her words, she would bring them proof. The next night, when Caldwell's room was momentarily unattended, Angela quietly scooped a bit of the hand cream into a sterile container she had borrowed from the supply room. Back in the janitor's closet, she improvised a crude lab from cleaning supplies, foil, and old tricks she remembered from school. Her test wasn't elegant, but it was sound. And when the solution changed color exactly as it would in the presence of thallium, Angela knew she had the smoking gun. Still, evidence in her pocket wasn't enough. She needed courage. So when the next morning brought a high-level emergency meeting in Caldwell's suite, Angela did the unthinkable. She knocked once, then stepped inside, facing 20 startled physicians. Dr. Reynolds' voice was sharp. This is a closed meeting. Please leave. Angela's voice shook at first, but she steadied it. Mr. Caldwell is being poisoned with thallium. I tested his hand cream. It's positive. The room went silent. Reynolds' face hardened. Security, he began. But Angela didn't flinch. She laid her evidence on the table. Her notes, her test photos, the timeline of symptoms matched perfectly with Burke's visits. Look at his nails, his hair loss, his abdominal pain, his neuropathy. It's textbook. You'll find thallium in his blood and in his hair samples. And you'll find it in that cream. For the first time, the doctors actually looked at her. A younger physician, Dr. Park, leaned forward, curiosity lighting his face. She might be right, he said cautiously. The gradual exposure could have stayed under standard detection thresholds. Other specialists began murmuring in agreement. Reynolds looked pale as the implications sank in. Minutes later, a rush toxicology test confirmed it. Elevated thallium levels. The cream was poisoned. The antidote, Prussian blue, was administered immediately. For the first time in weeks, Caldwell's vitals stabilized. And just hours later, Jonathan Burke was arrested in the hospital lobby, caught on security footage tampering with the cream. His motive? To weaken Caldwell before a billion-dollar merger, ensuring control of the company would fall into his hands. When Caldwell finally regained consciousness, Dr. Reynolds stood at his bedside. He hesitated for a long moment, then told the truth. "You were being poisoned. We missed it." She didn't. He motioned to Angela, standing quietly by the wall. Caldwell's tired eyes found hers. "Thank you," he whispered, "for seeing what no one else did." For the first time, Angela wasn't invisible. The doctors who once dismissed her now clapped, one by one, until the room erupted in applause. Her years of being overlooked, of being underestimated, shattered in that instant. But the story didn't end there. Caldwell, grateful to the woman who saved his life, learned of her unfinished education. Within weeks, he established a scholarship in her name, funding her return to school and guaranteeing her a place in his company's research division once she graduated. Angela, once a janitor mopping floors, walked back into Johns Hopkins not as a ghost of what could have been, but as a student again, with a new badge, a new future, and a new purpose. And when she finally donned her white coat and introduced herself years later, she carried no bitterness, only quiet pride. "This is Dr. Angela Bowman," she would say. The world saw her now, not just her uniform, but her brilliance, and they would never overlook her again.